Hello and welcome back to Alma. This is episode 10. You join us, we've just returned back from town after delivering the tomatoes and making our first sales of ketchup. All very exciting. First thing that we need today is to look after our livestock. So we need to feed the cows and the sheep, mainly the cows. We didn't have a lot of feed in there last night, and we did run out of feed, so earlier on I had to just do a little top up, but we'll go through and put a reasonable amount in now to keep us going for the next day or so. So we've got over 57,000 litres of silage available, and that was really the limitation last night, so I should really have held on for another day or so before buying the cattle, but yeah, we managed to catch it, not quite in time, but yeah, we just need to look after the animals, get them back to peak health so they can start producing milk and reproducing, of course. So we'll just hitch up the TMR mixer. Got a little bit left in there from the last mix. So the next couple of mixes are all about trying to find out the optimal ratios, that's what are, of silage to alfalfa hay to straw. So the alfalfa hay is about 7,200 litres a bale. This takes just over the 20,000, about 21,000, this mixer. So I'm thinking if I do between 8 and 9,000 litres of silage, a hay bale, alfalfa hay bale, and then I'll top it off with straw. We'll see how that works. We have got the sliders up top left hand corner, so we'll be able to see. Just have to keep an eye on those as we're putting the straw in, particularly just to make sure that we keep within the TMR mixing range. As usual, not fully prepared. Haven't got my front end loader equipment on. Luckily, not too far to go and pick that up. So 2 of the 3 tractors now have front end loader capabilities, the Case and the bigger John Deere, the bigger newer John Deere. I think the Case is going to be used amongst other things, of course, but mainly for the yard work. It's nice and compact. I think we've got it up to 170 horsepower, so it's got a little bit of grunt, and it can help out with grass work as well. When we're doing grass work, it's probably pull the tedder without a problem, which means we can have a bit of help out there. Maybe not so much on the fields. It's probably work the lime and fertilizer spreader without too much problem. Yeah, so pretty versatile, really. In any case, yeah, we are back at the bale store. Let's get out a bale of alfalfa hay, put that into the mixer, see where we stand after that. There we go, it's out, ready to go. we'll have to keep an eye open whether we need to get a telehandler. It'll be easier with a telehandler to do this feeding. I think this can get through quite easily. The only reason why I'm thinking about the telehandler is I've still got those 2 bales stuck on the roof. But yeah, it's probably not worth buying a telehandler specifically for that job. There we go. Let's just feed it in. So we're in the TMR range already, but of course we're nowhere near full on the actual mixer. So that's a good balance to start with. So we've still got, I think, about 2,000 odd litres on a bale of straw that we used yesterday. So we must look for that, get that out first, and then we'll need another bale because we'll need more than that 2,000. We'll get that used up. I also want to try and get as close to using a full bale of straw as possible. I think the straw in square bales is 8,200 litres. So if we work back from that, say 21 minus 8, 13,000. So yeah, it's probably not gonna keep us in the mix. We'll see how it goes. It's a bit of trial and error. Gotta remember which is the small one that needs to go in first. It's the first one that came out, so it'll be that one, yeah. And we'll just top off with the other one. A little bit too far over, I think. Still too far over. There we go. It's going to take that whole one, so I don't mind that going in. I do like to kind of feed it in, especially the straw, just so that it's easy for me to get out of there as such if we start getting into a situation where we go out of the TMR range on the mixer. But this should fill it up, hopefully without, and still keeping us within the range. Maybe I should have put a weight on the back. It's okay with the one load. With the one bale. You can see when you first pick it up, it feels a bit front heavy. Right, so let's just feed that in. Yeah, so that's filled up, and yeah, I think we've got a good mix. We could put slightly more straw in, but I don't want to push that. Also, I want to have reasonable quality feed, because we're not putting the additives in. Just want to have reasonable feed, because the straw is just really a bulking agent. It's a bit like putting breadcrumbs into sausages. Although that serves to bind it as well, but yeah. This we don't want really to bind up. We want it to be fairly loose, so that it spreads nice and easily when we put it into the shed. Let's go and offload that, and we'll try another mix and just see how that goes. So it's looking like we need to get to sort of, if we get to sort of mid 8,000 litres worth of silage, maybe even closer to 9,000 litres of silage, then that'll give us a bale each of alfalfa hay and straw. And it'll be pretty efficient in that we won't have lots of little bits and pieces. So I'll go against my own well, I won't say principle. We'll try and put a full bale in this time round and just see how it balances out. I'm not too worried if we don't have a full load, as long as it's over the 20,000. Try and get it full, of course, but I would rather have the mix right and slightly under a full load. Don't want it to be too far under the full load either, because then that becomes counterproductive. But if it's over 20,000, I'm happy to feed without spending too much time doing adjustments, which can take up time in itself, of course. Let's get a bale of each out, put that in and see where we stand. Yeah, the placement of this bale shed was perfect, really. It's given that we have a nice little work area just in front of it, so it doesn't feel cramped, feels nice and spacious when we're doing filling up without feeling like we are running all over the show. Right, so that's one of each. So put those in and see where we stand. We'll put the hay in first. Just so that I suppose what I could do, just thinking about it, if this comes out alright, and if there's a bit of space to play with, especially on the hay side, we could of course put a bale each of these in and then just top up with silage, and then we'll just reverse. In other words, we'll feed from the top side, keep our circular route going. That's a possibility. We'll try that most probably next time. Let's just make sure that so we're well into the zones on hay and silage. Let's just see what this bale does. My feeling is it's not going to take it to a full load. But I think it'll be over 20,000, so I think it'll be okay. Here we go. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. I don't think the silage, yeah, no. That's fine. No problem with that. There should be enough feed now for the kettle for the next day. It's another bit of experimentation. We have to try and find out what sort of levels we need to feed each day, because we don't have a full herd in here. It's not necessary to have the food completely filled, because it does take a lot, this shed. So we just need to balance that out. Right, let's just top the sheep up, and then we, yes, Mr. Sheep, or Mrs. Sheep, food's coming in, fresh food, all for you and your mates. Oops, dragging the front end. We need to give a little bit of a, it's not a natural reverse out of this this enclosure. Need to work on that routine a little bit. Let's get this closed up. Oh, there's another one there. Nearly forgot that. It'd be a waste. Also, we don't have a full shed of sheep, so we don't have to keep that full. Once we get to once we get the numbers up, we'll start putting out extra bales so they can just keep topping up itself. I like to do that in the sheep just so that they have always got access to grass. Whereas the cows, because we're milking every day, we pretty much have to interact with them every day. That way, if we put extra food out for the sheep, we don't necessarily have to interact with them every single day. Every other day when we need to clear the wool, it's probably more often in winter, because we don't want the wool lying out in the snow. I do feel we're going to get a lot of snow on this map. The hints were there in the write-up, so I haven't got a lot of experience with playing in snow, so we'll have to see. We're going to have to keep getting tomatoes down to the ketchup factory during the winter as well, so we may have to get a snowplow to get through the snow drifts. We'll play that by ear. That's a job well done. Right, let's get back to the stones. We're just about finished collecting the stones. The workers starting to get a little bit confused with the big headland. Of course, I put it on just a normal worker rather than courseplay, because oops, didn't lower it. So I'll just finish this off myself. What I'll do is I'll square it off a little bit, because there's still quite a bit to go. We'll square this little area off here, and then see if we'll put it back on a worker. Well, we're going to empty it first, I think. Go and get the rock crusher working. I need to see if I can get some stones from my neighbours. Maybe they have got piles of stone from their fields. We'll see as we go along. We might be able to buy some of them, or maybe just go and collect it from them. That's what we'll try and get them for nothing. That's the best input, something that costs nothing. Well, if we have to go and collect it, I'm pretty sure people won't deliver it to us for nothing. But if we can work a deal with it, we go and pick it all up, load it up ourselves, and bring it back to the farm, then at least we can try and become self-sufficient on lime that way. But yeah, that's for the future on that one. We'll plan for that. First of all, we've got to get through this first season. Winter's around the corner. We're in November already. And we've got to get ourselves prepared. Also, because we haven't had a winter out here yet, we need to see what's in store for us. The next year we'll be able to have something to base our plans on. Right now, we're planning on what we think is going to happen, not what we know is going to happen. Let's get this back to the rock picker now. Go and offload that. Then we'll get to work on that, and we can start doing a bit of liming while that's going. Very keen to use the first load of lime from the first load of our own lime. I had a quick look at it. I think there's about 5,000 litres, just under 5,000 litres I think, of lime that's been produced by the rock crusher. So that's about half of the fertilizer spreader. And I think we've still got 2 bags of lime under the trees. We'll check that out before we buy any more. Nice. Nice little bit of kit, that rock crusher. Wasn't awfully expensive, 25,000. Wasn't cheap, of course, but at least we can be fairly efficient with picking up our stones. I've been saying rock all day again. My goodness, I should never have headed that last episode getting our rocks on, or rocks off. I can't remember which way it was. So all I can think about and all I can remember saying is, well, I've now programmed myself to say rocks instead of stones. So whenever I say rocks, just take it to mean stones. Oh dear. Right, let's get that's going. Just see if it picks up that. Yeah, it's picking up okay. I did get a message on the last one saying that some people seem to be having problems picking up stones on this map. Don't know if anybody else has experienced that. I did have a problem with one of the mods, the stone picker trailer. I did get it to work, and then it just, the next time I tried to use it, just stopped working, wouldn't pick up any stone. So that's why I changed over to the mod that we've got. The description of the mod, or the mod, the name of the mod, etc., is in the comment section of this video. It's Black Sheep Modding mod. We'll just load up these 2 beds of lime, and then we'll go and start working on that field while it's on the one side of the field, while the stones have been picked up on the other side. I want to get the seeding done today, and then we'll roll off camera, and then in the next episode we will start, I don't want to say winterproofing, because I don't know what I need to winterproof against yet on this map, but we'll start getting ready for winter, trying to preempt. Mainly what I want to do is just make sure that there's cover for, some sort of cover for all of the implements and machinery and tractors as such. fills up nice and quickly. Yeah, that's good. I can get out now and go and start some liming. I won't show the whole liming process, I'll just show this first little bit now, and then when we come to do the seeding, you'll pretty much see that everything is covered in white lime. That's one thing we didn't really have to do on the farm that I was on when I was working on a farm, is liming. The field was pretty much a lime field. Had a lot of natural lime in it, so luckily we didn't have to do that step. That's a little bit too narrow, let's try and spread out a little bit. The one thing I have found is that I don't seem to be able to zoom out or zoom in once I've started working with an implement. So basically I have to stop and then zoom in and zoom out. Don't know if anybody else has the same problem on that. Don't know what that's from. Don't know whether that's particular to PC. Maybe there's a little bit of a mod conflict. It's not too bad. It's not a major issue really. It's a non-issue really. It's just when you're trying to get a far shot. Have we got too far away this time. Yeah. We'll patch that up at the end if it needs to be, because actually you quite often find that you might have a little patch that looks like it's not limed, but it actually is, because if you try and go over it, it doesn't register as needing lime. They're normally fairly small pieces of land, which is fair enough. I still try, most of the time I still try and lime them just to make sure, because I don't know exactly what the measurement is before it actually starts auto dispensing lime. Right, back to the rock picker. The stone picker. We'll have to have a round of applause if I get it right first time the next time I suddenly change over to it. It's no good now. Now my mind's attuned to saying stone picker. Right, so we'll just top up the lime spreader. So we'll do a full top. So it's 350 for 2,000 litres. So we'll need 5 threes of 15 plus 250. Yeah, so that's 1,700 odd. For a full load of lime. So that's essentially what I'm hoping to save from picking the rocks. So we're going to have to do quite a few fields to pay off the lime crusher, and to also pay off, if we're going to do it, we'll also need to buy the stone picker. So yeah, it's probably not really, well, it's probably not a good move economically, but pretty satisfying though. But if we can get stones from other farms, we can work out a system of getting stones from other farms, then it might become lucrative. Right, so just got a little bit left to work on. The worker was obviously a little bit confused as to what was happening. It's because it's such an irregular field, and I was just using a normal worker, and not a courseplay worker, not a more advanced farmhand. That's not a problem. It's always good to be able to jump in the machinery and to keep your hand in with all the different jobs that need to be done. You don't want to become so rusty that you can't do the job yourself if need be. If needs be, should I say. Yeah. So this is a good drop pick. This is 9.5 meter wingspan. So it's just this little triangle to be done, and then I think we're finished with the stones. So you can see it's been a fairly long process. Of course, we haven't been working on it all the time because workers have stopped and such like, but we have been able to do quite a bit of other jobs on the farm while that's been on the go. And I think if you get it onto courseplay, the only problem with courseplay is that with this it's going to fill up. It's not going to be able to do a whole field, certainly not of this size, before needing to be emptied. So my personal jury is still out as to whether we will continue with field stones. Certainly continue with it for the foreseeable future. But yeah, not sure. If I can get the stone picker trailer to work, it'll be no-brainer, because that can take a lot of stones, and we'll be able to do most fields on just one load of that. So we'll give it a go again. I'm not sure why it didn't work. As I said, I have had a message from at least one other player, a subscriber, who said that they were having problem picking up stones on this map. And as I said, I have picked up a problem with that mod. I haven't tried the others, so I can't comment on those. Right, let's make sure that it's still operating. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I definitely think we need to. This thing produces the lime so quickly as well that pretty much no sooner have we put in the stones when it's done. So it does tend to be just ticking over the rock crusher. Right, let's get this returned to the store so we don't have to pay any more leasing fees, and we'll get the seeder onto the back of this tractor, get started on the seeding. I just parked them there from the last night's work because I thought it would be just pointless spending all the time parking them away and just bringing them out again this morning. So we're going to have a lot of wheat next year. I think we'll probably have to sell it into the global market. We'll see. Maybe we can find a place to run some chickens. Let's just get this onto courseplay and get it going. Get the worker going. So the work is probably costing us a little bit of money in wages, but yeah, most farms are pretty labour intensive. That looks okay. It looks like it should do it pretty easily. There's probably going to be little bits in the corners that need to be sorted out, but we'll deal with that when that happens. Right, got a couple of missed bits. Enjoy looking at the scenery with especially when I'm going back towards the farm. You can see the farm in the distance. It just looks good. With this field so dark now, when we go back facing towards the farm, you can see the undulations on the field. There might be a little slither at the top of this field that will need to be taken care of as well. A couple of passes on this bottom section. In the top corner there was a bit missed as well by the worker. So I didn't do this whole field on course play. We did a couple of the headlands on course play, and then for one reason or another I had to stop it, so I had to just put it onto a normal worker, and that's why we're having to complete the job. Because the normal workers struggle with this bottom corner, whereas if you have it on course play, kind of sails through it. I think what happened this time is I had to save the game and exit for a while. Something must have come up. Luckily, I think we're just about to finish the headlands so it wasn't too much of a problem. Just to get things going again. And as I say, I don't mind finishing off the little jobs. It just gives you the feeling of having achieved the job and not just paid somebody else to do it. I do like to do quite a bit of the actual field work myself. It's that nice feeling of being in a big tractor. Right, well, I think that's where we're going to end this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. I'll pop up to the top there and just go and finish off that little slither as well. In the next episode we will prepare the farmyard for the winter. I hope you'll join me for that episode. Thank you so much, and cheerio.